You are not you. You're me. No shit.
Hightailed it out of there.
Are you crazy? Don't go between them! Go between them! Are you crazy?
Welcome to my home.
Good morning. Morning. Looks like I have good mic, good video. So, good morning, everybody. A little out of breath. I had to run downstairs. I started the stream, and then I had to run downstairs and try to get back here in time because I left the internet running downstairs, which could interrupt this. So, turned all that stuff off, and now I'm a little out of breath. But good morning, everybody. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. Super stoked about 2026. All the physical media that I already have coming. Things I'm excited for. Man, let me catch my breath. Whew. Oh, man. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so yeah, the things that I'm stoked about 2026, I think is going to be a huge year for physical media. And before we dive into all that, some of my thoughts, and not necessarily predictions yet, but definitely thoughts. Let's dive into, oh man, it's, when you hit that certain age, man, trying to catch your breath is rough. But yeah, the stuff I have planned today, stuff I want to talk about, going into 2026, I do want to change some stuff up. None of the like life-changing things or plans for the YouTube channel, like that crazy stuff. Like nothing is crazy, but some things I just wanted to talk about. So first of all, I want to welcome the new members. We've had a ton of new members recently. So we have 16 total YouTube members, 5 fourth wall members, and the new members include Andy Morgan, who's a fourth wall member and a YouTube member. So Mad Lad, Cornman 5836, YouTube, Fallout 4, James Gray, Rachel Tyrell, Asiatic Soldier. Welcome all the new members. And for being a member, this is what you get today. Let's see, video. To celebrate the new members, so yeah, that was one of my, I love V for Vendetta. That's amazing. And so welcome new members. And as we're talking about the memberships, some of the membership tiers are going to change. Nothing's going to get taken away. So I'm not going to delete anything, but we're going to change how we do stuff, and we're going to add a new tier. But in the crazy, I don't think anybody's ever going to get it tier. And if you do, it's one of those like, wow. So there's this like crazy $100 tier. It's $100 a month, which is just absolutely nuts. But if somebody does that and they complete it for a year, then you get this swag bag kind of thing. Like the collector kit's going to include a ton of merch from the store. And so that's that. But it's like, that's just crazy. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever going to do it. It's just there for, I guess, for my own, like peace of mind, I guess. I'm just like, nobody's ever going to do that. Because like when people give me positive feedback, I'm always like, wow, that's crazy. When people give me negative feedback, I kind of expect it. So, it's like, it's one of those crazy things. So got that, changing some stuff. And then I had a really good time last Sunday. So last Sunday we did the YouTube member only live stream, and we're going to do that every the first Sunday of every month around 8 o'clock Mountain Time. That's where I am, and I enjoyed that. Had a great time. So we're going to continue that because I've tried to do it like randomly, just trying to fit it in, doing it through the week, and other people stream, other people are doing stuff, and then the week is kind of harder. But Sunday seemed to work out, so that's what I'm going to continue to do. And then the second Sunday, which to be tomorrow, we're going to do the Fourth Wall Zoom call. So I'm going to put that out. It's open to all the Fourth Wall members. I put a link out, and then you just click the link, and we just hang out like this. It's not live, but it's like a Zoom call. You get to hang out. You can ask me pretty much any question, for the most part. I mean, obviously, I like it to keep it movie related, but most of this stuff is great. Anything but politics is pretty much is on the table. I'm not a political person, so I'll never get into that or entertain that stuff. But yeah, I have a great time. I've been doing it for a couple months, and so we're going to do that 8 o'clock Mountain Time tomorrow. So that's that, and then we're going to continue. Every first Sunday is going to be the YouTube member. Second Sunday is going to be the Fourth Wall membership live stream or Zoom call. So we got that, and then the PO box is up and running. Everything's solid with it. If you do want to send me anything, you never have to. You can send it to the PO box. It's linked down below. Send it to just 80s Made. I went down and filled out the paper and even put my nickname down there, and they're like, yeah, you're good. So that's open, so you can always send me stuff. And I probably will never, because you never know what somebody's going to send you, but I will make videos on that stuff as always, and I call it friend mail. But I'll never do it live. But I was kind of thinking about doing like a member only video, maybe doing some of those unboxings live. But then it's like, if somebody sends me something that's not a member, it doesn't work out. So I will continue to do how I've been doing it, adding the friend mail into haul videos, talking about it, and then opening it. And then that way, if there's any crazy issues, I can edit it out. But we got that going. And then so far 2026, it's been a great year already. The things I'm excited for, and we'll get into all that in a little bit, but then some of the stuff I've already ordered, but then I've been knocking off some of my wish list stuff. So I have an Amazon wish list, and people have sent me stuff from that over the year and a half that we've been really like rocking and rolling. I've been on YouTube for a couple years, but I think like a year and a half ago is when it like really kicked up. And so then people have been sending me stuff, and that's always great. But I personally have knocked off and picked up stuff that I've wanted for a long time off my wish list this month, and 4 of them are coming today. So super stoked about that. And one of them is an anime title, and I've never really been like huge in anime, but I'm kind of dipping my toe into it. Sometimes it's like a whole different animal than physical media, I guess. It's not considered a genre. It's its own thing. And when people complain about physical media being expensive, and then I look at some of the anime stuff, I'm like, whoa, that stuff is crazy expensive. And just talking about the movies, the TV shows, the discs, that stuff can be expensive. And then into the hobby, if you like any of the other stuff, like that stuff's also crazy expensive. So if you are an anime person, definitely today we're gonna shoot me out some recommendations, because I'm going to try to add one title a month. And I've been enjoying that because I've been enjoying some of it, but it's just a lot to consume and a lot to really just dive into. And so I've been trying to add one title a month and try to be able to knock it out in that month. So if it's like a huge, crazy series, I might add it, but it's no way I'm going to try to knock it out in the whole month. We got that going on. And then let's see. Oh, in the store, there's going to be new merch throughout this year, and we're gonna redesign the mug, which I don't have with me today because I have this mug, because this one works better for the mustache on camera. And so this is also available in the store. We have the tumbler, Saturday afternoon, and you have the Dracula marquee. But we're going to redesign the mugs going into this year, and then one of the tiers for the YouTube membership, one of the perks is input on possible new videos and video topics, but also merch. So not saying that it's guaranteed, there's no control, but there's definitely some input on some of the stuff. And so that's available. So yeah, new merch is coming. We're going to redesign stuff. And then once we get it in, I roll it in, I'll show it off on a member live stream. But then there's definitely a few things I want to talk about. But I am super stoked about the Warner Vinegar Syndrome deal. So they hammered out a deal. Apparently, there's like 40 titles that are going to be coming through Vinegar Syndrome, but they're Warner Brothers titles. And from what I understand, some of it's like TV movies or TV stuff. But either way, I'm super stoked. Love Warner Brothers. I enjoy Vinegar Syndrome, but like not every movie there is for me. And usually when I'm like, oh, I got to check out Vinegar Syndrome, I always end up buying the cinematograph stuff and not so much of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. But giving me some Warner titles, more options, I'll probably dive in a little bit more. So yeah, I'm super stoked about that. I don't know. I don't remember if the article actually said when that stuff's going to be rolling out, but I'm going to keep my eyes peeled and we're going to be talking about it. Clearly, we're going to be talking about it. Let's get caught up there. All right. And then, so that's something I'm super excited about. But then we got to talk about this. So at first I thought they were Warner Archive titles. Let me see if I can't find it first. Let's see. Here it is. So these are the upcoming Universal catalog titles. They're back catalog stuff. And I'm super stoked about this. Let's see. I'm sharing the screen. No, I'm not. Hold on. Give me a second. All right. Okay, so this stuff right here, this is the stuff that's coming out. Let's see, when is this stuff coming out? Soon, in February. So very soon. Let's see. Let me go back. And so they have all this stuff here. So you have Birth of the Blues, Double or Nothing, the Benny Goodman Show. Here Come the Waves, Sing You Sinners. So none of this stuff was really, I mean, that cover's kind of wild, especially in like when you read the comments of the people complaining about this movie and the cover. I'm super stoked. So I know I like Warner Archive. I know it's not for everybody. And I like, they do a little bit of everything. They put out some of the old stuff, but then they put out some stuff that's not that old. In my Warner Archive collection, I've got movies from the 90s and early 2000s. So they put out a little bit of everything. But Universal is cranking these out, and that's the general comments is trying to be like Warner Archive. And I'm glad. Give us the back catalog stuff. And, because most of all this stuff did get a DVD at some point. Not everything did, but a lot of it did. And so the fact that we're getting it now, none of these movies were ever on my radar. I don't know anything about them, but the fact that they take place in, a time period, 40s, 50s, in that general era of cinema, I'm super stoked. And so that's just me. But yeah, this Birth of Blues was from 1941. Let me move this. And then Double or Nothing was from 1937. So yeah, you have the much older films, black and white. I'm super into that stuff. Am I going to get all of it? Probably not, but I'm definitely going to check out the trailers. And that's, after the trailer, that's enough blind buy for me. So I was like, if the trailer looks good enough, I'll probably pick it up. But yeah, they're all pretty much there. The Benny Goodman story. I don't know why I thought of the show. He had a show. I'm pretty sure he had a show. 1956. So yeah, 50s cinema is also one of my favorites. I mean, I don't think there's a bad era of cinema. I like some of the silent films, but like that whole era, like I'm not like super in love with it and I have everything, but there's definitely a handful of silent films that I love. So I guess I love pretty much every era. My favorite being the 70s, but 50s is a nice one. I like to pick up a lot of stuff from there. So yeah, super stoked about this. I don't know if you guys are, but I definitely am. And good morning, chat. Let's see. Ha ha ha, feeling a tad bit old, are we? Yes, I was. Running back up the stairs, I just was out of breath. And good morning, Darren, brother. Let's see. What's up, bruv? Good morning, all. Good morning, brother. Good morning. Take a breath. Yeah, it took me a second. And it took me longer than I thought. And then, like I said, I lost all that weight. And then moving here, like the elevation thing, like increased your appetite. And so then I gained all the weight, especially through the holidays. Not all of it back, but I gained some of it back. And so, like, now I'm carrying extra weight. And I'm like, oh, man, running up the stairs was not good. Not good at all. And TJ, good morning, brother. Yeah, good morning. I got my coffee. Got that. Super stoked about the rest of the day too. I've got some things that I'm going to knock out. So these are the movies that I'm going to knock out. And I mentioned this on my on the member only live stream the other day. and not enough. I'm not going to go into detail about that whole live stream, but one of the things that was kind of bothering me, and it's mostly because of the move. So getting ready for the move, actually moving, and then right before I moved, I did do 2 big purchases. But throughout that year, there's a ton of movies that I just haven't got to watch, and I did always pride myself on watching everything that came in, or if it didn't, it was a very small pile that sat downstairs waiting to get watched, and it got watched in a very short amount of time after the fact. But now, putting the stuff on the shelves, touching everything, there's hundreds of movies on the shelf that I haven't watched, and it really is kind of stressing me out. And then another thing that I realized, like last night, as like it was Friday, my daughter gets to stay up later at night. But then she left because my wife was watching football upstairs, and she left to go spend time with my wife. And then when that was over, my kid didn't want to go to bed. So she played both of us. And she's like, I just want to hang out and have family time and that. So then instead of watching these movies that are rated R and not appropriate for her, I'm now watching movies that are appropriate for her that I've usually seen before. And that's happened pretty much since we've moved here. Any of the extra time, because there's holidays, all that time off, and it just kind of worked out that way. But then last night it hit me again. But last night I was able to watch something I bought specifically for her, and so we could watch it together. And so that worked out. But this pile here is one that I'm going to knock out this weekend, no matter what I do. And I think they're all pretty much hard R's or close to it, not appropriate or super boring for the rest of the family. And the first one I'm going to knock out is one I recently picked up, but it came highly recommended, and like nobody really told me what it was. They just said it was a good film. So I was like, oh man, I'm super stoked now. So Delicatessen, I picked that up. I'm going to be watching that this weekend, and from what I understand, it's a comedy horror cannibal movie. So super stoked about that, because I do love the comedy horror. I don't know if it's a movie for me, but I like comedy horror, or horror comedy, however you want to say it. And then I picked up this one, Day of the Locust, recently, so I'm going to knock this one out today, because I had that whole last Christmas haul, or not, it wasn't Christmas movies, but the December haul was huge, and I didn't get to watch a lot of it because we were watching a lot of holiday films at the time. Now this one, I feel that I have watched it since I've owned it, but somehow it's like a vague memory. So I'm going to rewatch it. So I was like, maybe I haven't, but I'm definitely going to rewatch it, because off the top of my head, I can't tell you what this is about. Blue City. And I know this is getting another release from somebody else. I think I saw a chunky box of this somewhere else, but this is an Isle of Films release, and I've had it for a little while. I think it's a good movie, but I can't tell you what it's about. So I'm going to rewatch that, because maybe I haven't seen it. And then this one, I've seen this one a million times, but I absolutely love it. While I was in the Isle of Films, I picked up Blue City. I was like, you know what, an old classic, in case any of these bomb and I'm not like super into them, I got to get something that I know I'm going to enjoy. And so it's Heartbreakers. I love this film. It's a classic. I don't think this has been put out on any other form. Maybe it has, but I was like, I don't think it has, for Blu-ray. And except this Olive Films version. So Heartbreakers, I think it's great. Gene Hackman's great in it. I mean, I think everybody's great. Jennifer Love Hewitt, you had Sigourney Weaver, and Ray Liotta's in this film. It's just a comedy. I love this one. Again, I could watch this anytime. So adding that in, but all the rest I haven't seen before. And then this one I picked up like right before I moved. And this is one, when I talked about it, like people were like, man, you're going to really love that one. So I pulled this off the shelf. I still haven't even opened it yet, but it is Blood Red. So I'm holding myself accountable. I am going to be trying to knock out the movies that I haven't seen, because it really is kind of stressing me out. And then more stuff is coming. Like yesterday, I just unboxed a 25 title order from Hamilton Book. I was able to record that whole thing, knocked it out, and then I'll probably upload that maybe Monday. I had a good time with that one. And the thing is, most everything in there was a blind buy. I think there's only one thing I had actually ever seen before, and so everything was a blind buy, but it was a recommendation. Like, there was a reason I picked it up, and it wasn't just because it was, it looked interesting. It was $5. It was cheap. There was a couple of those, but I grabbed some $35 titles. And normally in Hamilton Book, I am trying to save the most amount of money. And so I'm not usually grabbing those $35 titles, but I did. And that video will be definitely out Monday. So we got that. Oh, and I've got a ton of stuff on pre-order. We're going to get into that in a minute, but then I just want to dive into obviously the chat, say hello, and then things I'm anticipating. Like there's definitely some announcements already 2026 I'm super stoked about. And then things that I already have on pre-order, things that, day one purchases for me. And there's a reason. And usually it's high recommended from you guys, or like there's this one title that Umbrella's releasing. I was super stoked about because I almost pulled the trigger on it was a not a boutique label, but it was a nicer set. It was importing it from another country. It had a slip box. It had all the tchotchkes and stuff, but it was like $50, and it was a foreign title. And I don't mind. I import that stuff all the time, but this is coming from Umbrella. I like this set better. It's in the same ballpark for price range. I'm definitely going to be grabbing that. So we're going to dive into all that stuff very soon. But yes, good morning, everybody. Let's see. Getting in the morning cardio. Yes, I was, for sure. Yeah, I was feeling. I'm feeling so old now. And just like that, V for Vendetta is on the queue to revisit. Yes, yeah. That's the great thing about it. Like, there's been so many people that have never seen Leon, and obviously I talk about it all the time. It's one of my favorites. You guys know that. But when I play the Everyone clip, there have been people, not usually in the live stream, but after the fact, that'll hit me up or message, ask me specifically what that is from, and then they have watched it, and then the few people that have watched it and then let me know, they all love it. So I haven't had anybody that's like curious about it. I introduced to it, and then they're like, "Man, that was the worst film ever." So that's always a good thing, and yeah, I guess that's fun, revisiting old stuff in a great way. Let's see. And then morning or afternoon. It's still morning here, but yes, good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. And Crunchyroll prices are insane. Yeah, and so speaking of that, there is the buy it before you try it mentality, and I have never done that. Until now, I haven't had great internet. So that whole buy it before you try it or try it before you buy it kind of thing, people talk about that's why they use streaming. I've never been that. I've never been a streaming guy. I'm not the biggest fan of streaming, the model, the whole thing. Like there's the death by scrolling. Anytime I've tried to use it, unless it's like there's something I really wanted to watch, like right at the forefront, trying to find something is almost always not fun. Not fun at all. And I hate it. But we have had Amazon over the years, but very rarely do we use it. And then just now I got Peacock because of my my internet here gave it to me for free for 2 years. And we've used it a couple times through the holidays. My kid used it a couple times, but again, it's not a streaming house. But because the whole anime thing, trying to dive into that and trying to find out what I want, and instead of dropping like $120, $150 on a whole series, some of this stuff's extremely expensive. So I was like, getting Crunchyroll. I got the cheap plan. It's like $8 or whatever, and so I got that. And then there's HD. There's another one. There's another one out there that's their competition. They do different things. It's HD something. I'm pretty sure it's what it's called. And I tried that. So I got them both. But Crunchyroll, it's like hooked up in my PlayStation. Like my PlayStation 5, like it's got it right there. The other thing, I got to like sit down at the computer, or I got to like find it on my iPad and then send it to the TV. And then, that's not super convenient. So I'm not going to keep them, but it gives me the option to try some things, especially if there's some recommendations. And usually within that first episode, I can lock down like, hey, this is totally for me. I'm super into it. Sure, I'll buy it. But like the complete blind, like I have been, especially some anime stuff, I've been recommended stuff, and I'm like, whoa, what the heck is this? It's not for me. So we got that. Oh, and then in that wish list thing, I do have, like I said, I do have an anime coming, but that one comes highly respected. There's a whole reason why I picked it up, but highly respected, but it's been recommended for a very long time. But then very recently, somebody was like, that's super overrated. So now I'm like, whoa, how can everybody be super into this? And even people that aren't into anime are familiar with this movie or familiar with it. And then this one person like, it's super overrated. And so I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna dive in. So I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet, but it is coming today, and it'll be part of my haul, and I'll have thoughts on it. We got that. But yes, good morning, brother. Let's see. The U.S. prices on anime are indeed too high now. But if you had any idea that a single season could cost you up to $500 in Japan, 100 in US does not seem so high for 24 episodes. Yeah, no, it's like I said, like anime is this crazy animal. I know, like I don't want to talk about anime the entire show because I know that's not why people are here. But like anytime people are like, man, imprint's extremely expensive or this stuff is like price gouging, I'm like, man, you have not even tried to dive into anime. I've seen some like I've been sticker shocked for sure. And that's why like I did sign up for some of those streaming services because there's just no way. It's so much stuff. You don't know what you like, and it's like a kid in a candy store. You could buy a ton of it and then, feel regrets later. Is idiotic to pay that much to have something physically. I have thousands upon thousands of movies, but I would never let them gouge me like that. LMAO, Internet Archive is your friend. Yeah, I mean that stuff's always great too. And I was like, there's some stuff I would never pay that price, but I've definitely paid quite a bit for some of the things that I want in my collection. But it's part of for me, it's part of the collecting hobby, and it's like having that limit, like this Lord of the Rings box set up there, that crazy leather bound ridiculous set. When it launched, it was extremely expensive. I bought it on clearance, and it was still expensive. It was still more than my car payment. Like it was crazy expensive. Um, but I love it. I think it's great. And I was like, I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan. I bought it for my wife, and then she's not super into the stuff. She'd be fine with a few apps on the phone, downloading it and watching it that way. But me, I like to physically have it. And so, like, how many of those are out there? There's not that many. There is a thing about the collecting hobby where I do enjoy having some things that are unique and really limited, like, and there's that. And so I will pay some more for that, but like average like a TV show, like, no, I just can't. I try to find most of my TV shows through thrifting or secondhand stores. Like I definitely just picked up a bunch in the Hamilton book order. I think like 3 or 4 TV shows specifically, first seasons, but still picking them up like in the $5 range for an entire season. Yeah, that's where I'm at for TV shows. And so even though I understand anime is not that same thing, to me it kind of is. Like it's 24 episodes of a show, and I just can't on some of it. But I mean, yeah, sure, I picked up some of it. Let's see. Aniplex US was always about half the price, Japan price, and everyone was not happy about that. If they came with a dub or a sub, still they were identical to Japan release in quality and not compressed. Wow, I didn't know that either. Which films are you excited for 2026? Do you think people will be getting back more into physical media in the future? Oh, for sure. I have a couple of videos on region-free Blu-ray players. Those videos get like hundreds of views every day. People are getting into it. People are asking questions. I have a collecting tips, like getting into physical media video that I did a few years ago. That video gets regular views, and then there are people that come in of like, hey, I just recently found your channel. I didn't know people collected movies anymore. I'm just getting back into it. So I get that. So yeah, I honestly do. I think there's going to be more and more. And then as I'm on YouTube, just watching stuff, scrolling, finding things to watch, there's so many not physical media personalities out there that are making videos of my physical media collection. I got back into physical media. I'm buying DVDs again. I ended up watching this one with my kid, this lady and her husband. They didn't own a TV, and then they ended up buying an old CRT television, and then she broke out her VCR from her parents' house and a bunch of VCR tapes, and then they were going to thrift like to find that stuff. And my kid and I were watching that journey because we have CRT televisions still, and we collect VHS tapes, and so that was kind of a thing. But like more and more people are getting back into it. Some people around my age or our age, I don't know how old everybody is, but I assume most people are in that range. But anyway, my age are going back to the nostalgia, picking some stuff up. But then you have the issue of like people are getting into it for the very first time. There's a lot of younger generation that never had VHS, never had DVD, and now they're getting into that stuff and they're collecting it. So I do. I think there's going to be a ton more. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm excited for 2026. And off the top of my head, I've got a lot of stuff on pre-order, but let's see. Before before I dive into what's coming out, things I'm anticipated for soon, let me see if I had anything on pre-order that was like one of those like I gotta have it things that I'm excited for. I'm excited for everything I'm getting. Like that's the thing. So one of the ones I'm excited for, and it's a blind buy. I saw the trailer. It's totally a me movie. Great cast, and it is made. Let's see, Housemaid. The Housemaid with who's this? Let's see. Yeah, Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney, The Housemaid. I'm super into that. I love the trailer. Seems like Sydney Sweeney's the housemaid, but then she's a little off her rocker kind of thing. I don't necessarily think it's like, Hand That Rocks the Cradle type of movie, but it kind of seemed like that. Like she's hired as a housemaid, but then she's crazy. So I'm super stoked about that one. And then that's on pre-order. I got a lot of stuff on my wish list actually coming today and tomorrow. Knocked that out. On here. All right, that's it I have on there. But then pretty much all the Umbrella stuff, some of the Shout stuff, we're going to dive into that right now. And a lot of that I'm super stoked for. And like I said, I don't have my predictions yet, but by March I'll have a video for my 2026 predictions of things I'm expecting or hoping that are going to come out. There's definitely, it's going to be more hope than actually, because I don't know anything. Like the studios are not reaching out to me to tell me, hey, we're going to be launching this stuff. I mean, I wish they would, but they don't. And so we have some stuff that I am stoked for. And right now the announcements, the Scream Factory announcements here. Now this one I'm not super stoked for. Outbreak, like I'm a little excited. I haven't seen this movie since it came out. This one came out in 1995. I liked it back then, but I have not seen it since 1995. I have not owned it in my collection at any time in my life. I've never had it on VHS or anything else. And so this is coming out to 4K finally. I don't know if it's a cult classic. It's one that I don't think gets talked about a ton, but I do at the time I remember enjoying it. But then there's a lot of movies that I enjoyed back then that as I'm like rewatching them for the first time in 30 plus years, that I'm like, whoa, this isn't exactly what I remember. Like Dragonheart. I enjoyed Dragonheart. I like the story, but yeah, seeing the CGI dragon, like I don't know why I didn't remember that. And so yeah, this one too. Like I vaguely remember enjoying it. So this one I'm looking forward to, not super stoked for. But Devil's Advocate, I just recently, within the last year or so, upgraded my VHS to Blu-ray. So I don't know that I need this day one, but I love this movie, Devil's Advocate. This is one that I am super stoked for, but it's also one that I just recently picked up the Blu-ray. So it's not going to be a day one purchase for me. If I didn't have it in the collection, obviously it would be day one. And if I've had that Blu-ray for like 15 years, it would probably be a day one. But I literally just picked it up last year. So, and this movie doesn't get a ton of watches either. Like, even though I love the movie and I think it's fantastic, I probably watch this every couple years, maybe 3 to 4. And so, yeah, I just watched it last year when I got it. So I'm not even in the mood to watch it again, even though I would. Like, if I bought this, I would have, because I loved it. I do think it's a great movie. So there's that one. But this one I'm super stoked for. And I'm always trying to add in more Hong Kong cinema, and I have added a ton of it. Now I've added a ton of Asian cinema. And in my last video, Blue Corner broke my chops, and then somebody else did too. I made that mistake. I called something, and I knew it wasn't. Like Yakuza's in Japan, and Japan is not Hong Kong. So I totally get it, but I got caught up in the moment talking about stuff. I made a mistake, and so now I feel that every time I talk about Hong Kong cinema, Blue Corner is going to hold that over my head. But this one is 100% Hong Kong cinema, the Swordsman Trilogy 4K box set, and I like this. I just recently picked up The Killer, I love the box set it comes in. It's a nice chunky, and it's thicker than some of the other like hard box sets that we get. So this one here looks like 3 films, 30 through 32. It's a trilogy. I said this trilogy. Ha ha ha. So 3 films in this nice box set, and then this one here. So this is The Killer. I wasn't going to show this off today, but might as well. Let's see. So in that same Hong Kong Classics, this box set here, this is just one. It comes with a book. It's just one title. And this is really thick. Like you can see how thick that is there. So 3 of them coming in a box set like this. Yeah, I'm super stoked. We got that. So yeah, that's high on my radar. Let's see, what is the price on this one? 65. Yeah, that's definitely high on my radar. When is it coming out? It's coming out in March. So yeah, that's a solid, easy pickup for my birthday. I was born in March, but in March I try to, because my wife never buys me any of the physical media stuff. She never buys me that stuff. Usually she'll just play the "What do you want" game. And if I tell her like movies or Blu-ray, she doesn't. We have so much, she doesn't know what we have. She'll never buy this stuff, even though I put it in my wish list and she has access to it. She never does. So this is something I'll probably gift to myself. Really looking forward to it. And yeah, I think the price is fantastic for 3 films. Would a cheaper sale price be better? Yeah, of course it would. But that would be an easy day one pickup for me. Then here's one that I'm super excited about because I remember when this came out, but I never saw it. So you have a big cast here: Josh Brolin, George Clooney. Who else is this? Tons of people are in this film. I'm super excited about it. Hail Caesar. It's a Joel and Ethan Coen movie. I'm pretty sure it says Lights, Camera, Abduction. I'm in. Yeah, $40. I think that's a little bit high for that. It'll come down. Again, this one might not be a day one for me, but it's a movie that I have wanted to see for a while. It's been on my radar forever. So picking this up on 4K, that's going to be a no-brainer. It's just a matter of when I'm going to pick it up. And then there's some anime titles in there. I don't know anything about it. I do love Piranha, but I'm not into the steelbooks. I think the steelbook art is fantastic. So if you are a steelbook collector, I do think that's fun compared to some of the other ones that we've gotten for Piranha, I think. And I don't know. I don't remember what the other one looked like other than the Roger Corman like classic movie poster. But this one here, I love the film. I think it's great. I don't need this one, but if you're a steelbook collector, it's there for you. And then Little Nicky. Again, is this a steelbook? Yes, it is. So they are cranking out like this fantastic art on steelbooks again, but it's not going to get me back into buying steelbooks. Like I said, like it's got to be one of my all-time favorites, and I'm putting it in like a safe collector like plastic box to protect it, and it's one of those like I have it on display as opposed to watching it regularly. This is something that I would be perfectly fine picking up. I haven't seen Little Nicky since it was in theaters. I saw it in theater, and then that was it. I've never seen it again. I didn't overall hate it, but I have found myself as being an older man now. I've enjoyed films from 20, 30 years ago that I thought were okay, but now I absolutely love them. I think the jokes hit harder, things are better, and I think it's partly me getting older and having a different view on the world, but also the modern movies and stuff, they don't use that kind of humor anymore. So I think it hits harder for me. So Little Nicky, even though I thought it was okay, and I never had it in the collection, like I said, I only saw it in theater. It was basically a one and done. I could pick this up, but I'm going to pass on the steelbook, even though I do think the steelbook art is kind of fantastic. But at the same time, I was like, now I'm not saying that this is, but I start questioning a lot of stuff now, thinking like, is this AI art? Is because it seems a little bit more effort than they usually do with stuff. And so, but I was like, AI art is less effort, I think. So yeah, I always question that, but I could be wrong. There could be an artist that did that, and I don't mean to knock them at all. I'm not saying it looks like AI. I'm just thinking everything is now. So yeah, those are some of the ones that I'm super stoked for so far, but we've got more to cover. And then let's see, what do we have? Vinegar Syndrome just did Blue City. Yeah, see, I knew one of them was getting a chunky box set. Was excited for the first time watch, and sadly left a tad down by it. Oh man, yeah. So I was like, that's what I'm saying. Like I've had it in the collection. I feel that I've watched it, but like I said, I don't remember it, and I can't I couldn't even tell you what it was about at all. So yeah, I feel that like it just got put on the shelf, so it wasn't on the floor, and then it kind of got forgotten about. So I'm gonna double check, but I might have seen that. There's been a few movies where I thought I hadn't seen them, and I watched it. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this, but it wasn't one of those ones that stick with you. Yeah, let's see. Just because the title is Naked Weapon doesn't mean Maggie Q is naked, just FYI. Yeah, I'm just saying, I know that, but I'm super excited about that movie for sure. Because I was going to buy it. So I understand. I'm pretty sure. I don't think she is naked in it. Because I think somebody would have told me that by now. And, you got to watch this because she's naked. And so, like, because that gets said to me a lot. And I appreciate it. Like, I'm not complaining, but it's usually not the reason I buy a movie. I'm sure I have bought a movie before. Like when I was a kid, I rented Showgirls because of that, and as an adult, I own it because of that. But like, yeah, like in general, nah. But yeah, that one I'm looking forward to it because I was gonna pick it up. It was on my radar. Somebody recommended it a while ago. I love it. I love the art. I love the premise of it. I love the story that it's supposed to be. I just, I don't know if the execution is great. And then I was going to pick up this. I think it was like $47 before tax and shipping on eBay. And it was like a slip box. I think it was being imported from somewhere else, but it was a slip box and it had some art cards and it had stuff. And so I was like, for 55, I can get the umbrella set that I think looks cooler. And it's still the premium edition. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the umbrella one. But yes, that is not the reason I bought it. But sometimes it is. I mean, sometimes I have sleazy movies in my collection, and sometimes that's the reason for sure. And AV Pop Culture. Hey, what's up, brother? What's up? It's like, oh, was I caught? He did like a movie awards, around the holidays time. That was a great live stream there. What's up, brother? See, I haven't bought Lord of the Rings 4K because of DNR. I will buy it if it's $40. Yeah, that's the same thing. So I have that. That's the Blu-rays. Those are the Blu-rays. They're extended editions. It's the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings trilogy. So it's both trilogies. It's a really cool set. And then I think my daughter was trying to get my wife to actually, because my daughter's super into movies. She loves 4K. She loves Blu-ray. She loves all that stuff. We just put a Blu-ray player in her room. But since she was 2, she's had a VCR with her own VHS collection. And so she just now got the Blu-ray, and she's into that stuff. So then just the other day, she was trying to tell my wife she needed the Lord of the Rings 4Ks. And my wife's like, absolutely not. But my wife doesn't even understand the whole DNR and all that stuff. She's happy with this crazy big set. And then for her, she does like the whole binge watch. And she's not the biggest fan of The Hobbit, but I love The Hobbit. But she loves Lord of the Rings, and she does that whole binge watch. And those are the extended cuts. It takes forever. And like we'll do the weekend thing, but it takes a long time. And she does that every couple of years. Let's see. Just seeing you talk about how Airheads Blu-ray is $500 almost makes me want to sell mine almost. Yeah, I was like, and I would love to have Airheads, but I have it on DVD. That's perfectly fine for me. There's no way I would spend that money. I've seen it as like low as like $200, $250, and then somebody's made like their own copy, and then they're calling it an MOD. But they made it like it's completely a bootleg. Somebody made this in their house because there's no official like by the studio's MOD, and so it's a good copy. But they're trying to sell it for like $70 or $80, and there's a few of them like that. Splash is $100 Blu-ray. I mean, I don't think it should be $100 Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray is out of print in all of the countries that it was released, and so every version of it is around that $100. But there is an MOD, bootleg copy on eBay for like $60. And so I was like, don't waste your money on those MODs. And there is an Airheads one. So like, don't get caught up like thinking there's that $500 price tag and you're getting a good deal at that 65. You're getting a burned disc. You're getting something that somebody ripped off the internet. They burned it to a disc and then they printed it out and then packaged it up. So it looks okay. There's no barcode on the back and it's completely a burned disc. So there's those, but yeah, not that I'm jealous of your copy, but I'm glad you have one. But I have my DVD. I think the DVD is okay, and I watch it in here. I watch it in the old CRT. I'm not watching that one down on the 4K, but I would. I mean, I have the VCR hooked up. I have the DVD player hooked up, so I do watch those things downstairs sometimes. But not Airheads. When I'm watching Airheads, I'm watching on the CRT in this room. I'll pop a bag of popcorn. Well, I don't use the microwave popcorn. I make my own homemade popcorn because I'm a little bougie. But I do that, and then I come up here, and that's where I'm watching that one. But yeah, Yeah, don't sell it. Don't sell it for sure. Same with Dogma. I have the Blu-ray and I never sold it. Yeah, and that Blu-ray, that version of the Blu-ray, like I don't know if the sellers realized that the 4K came out or is coming out, in different countries because I got one on pre-order from the UK, and I think that version is pretty cool. It uses the same art that Umbrella was going to use, so I was like, I get that one coming, but I think it comes out like soon, either gets released soon or gets released in February. So that's on pre-order. But yeah, I don't think they realize because that Dogma Blu-ray is still listed for quite a bit of money on eBay. But the fact that there's other versions now, you can get a 4K. That stuff's going to sit there forever unless you're silly or you just want that version of it. I get it. I totally get it. Some people will buy that because some of the Twilight Time stuff, some of the Olive Film stuff is still crazy expensive on eBay, even though there's been other versions put out by other studios. Those eBay versions, they're like Meteor Man, and I just picked up Meteor Man through Sandpiper Pictures, but there was an Olive Films version, and I am trying to collect all the Olive Films movies, but that one's extremely expensive, like a couple $100 expensive for Meteor Man, and I was like, that's just outrageous. That's I was like, I get having something that has value because it's limited. Not everybody has it. It's out of print. You're not going to get any more. But like putting that crazy like couple $100 on a Blu-ray, there's not. It's just a simple, plain, boring. Nothing extra. There's nothing super unique about it other than the fact that they don't make them anymore. It's kind of frustrating, especially trying to round out that Olive Films collection. There's quite a few of them. I did just pick up Ski-Doo. I found it on deep discount. I've never seen that one. It's a huge blind buy for me, but that one on eBay is like $90, $100. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Some of the stuff, but then some of the Olive Films you can get dirt cheap. Same with Dutch. That's another one. Now that one I actually am jealous of. I love that film. I think my DVD is fine, but I would have loved to have that on Blu-ray. So I am hoping we get one eventually, but you never know. And being a Disney property, probably never. But yeah, I would love to have Dutch on Blu-ray, but I do have my DVD. The only one that I actually am clamoring for an upgrade, a Blu-ray, a 4K, and I never got one. It only had a DVD, was Son-in-Law. I think Son-in-Law is fantastic, and I've had the VHS for many years. I recently, this past Thanksgiving, not this last Thanksgiving, but the one before, I had picked up the DVD, and while it's great up here on the CRT, trying to watch it downstairs on the 4K, it's horrible, and you can easily see where it needs a restoration, it needs to be upgraded, needs a high definition. They just probably took an old VHS rip and threw it on DVD and called it a day. They didn't put a lot of effort into that Son-in-Law DVD, but watching it up here, it's okay. It works. It's fine. But downstairs, I can watch Dutch on the 4K, and it's enjoyable. And I don't have that issue of where I'm like, man, this is kind of fuzzy, or I want a Blu-ray. 79 made here. Yes. 70s made. Yes. The blue corner, same. Nice. Let's see. If I can get a deal, let's see. If I can get a deal, it will grab a 4K, or I will grab a 4K set like the Matrix, like getting a cheap 4K, and then I paid way too much for Aerobox sets. I have the Mask, TMNT, Lost in Space. Yeah, I do the same. There's plenty of movies that I will hem and haw about the price, and like Dutch was a $20 DVD, and that felt like a huge gut punch. And then recently I picked up Major League 2 for my wife. And I'm not a huge sports guy. So she loves those movies. And I watch them. I think they're fine. I think the first one's pretty good. It was on my entire childhood. It was on television all the time. But Major League 2 was like $25 on Blu-ray. That felt like a gut punch. But I bought it for her as a gift. And so there was that. But there's other movies just like that where I'm like, that, $20, can't do it. But I dropped $100 on this, and I imported it from France. So this is a cool box set, but it's got a vinyl record. It's Leon. I'm trying to collect every version. It's got the 4K in here of the 4K that I already have. So it wasn't like anything extra special. It's a 4K steelbook that I had already purchased, but that's got the vinyl. It's got a book. It's got a bunch of stuff. I dropped $100 on that, and that wasn't even like I didn't even think about that, and I imported it from France, and then the like there's been plenty of Blu-rays where I'm like, I don't need that. Even at like the $17 range, there's a ton of Kino Lorbers where I'm like, maybe not. And it was like, it's sometimes a certain movie will hit you at a certain way. I totally get it. But yeah, too, I was like, I picked up all those Mask, TMNT, Lost in Space. I got them all. And there's what was it? There was I was talking to CJ last night. I forget what it was, but he was like, "Oh, you can get this version over here." And I'm like, "Nah, I think I'm all in on the big." Oh, Wasabi. Wasabi's coming out through or is out through Umbrella. I'm gonna put an Umbrella order, but I really want the big chunky box set, so I'm all in on that. And that's a blind buy. I love John Renault. It sounds great. It's been recommended by, you know, I don't know, Blue Corner probably recommended, but there was somebody that like I trust, like 100% trust was like, yeah, it's a solid film. And so I was like, okay, no problem. And so, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get the big chunky box set. But then as I'm on Umbrella, there's other films over there where I'm like, I'm fine with the standard slipcover. I don't need the other chunky stuff. So like, yeah, certain films get it. Some of them don't. I would never. Yes. Let's see. Swordsman 2 is great. Just sucks. It's just the first one in 4K in that set. Oh man, yeah, that does suck. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it for sure. And I want to get Under Siege. That was a fantastic 4K. This is the one I picked up. I ended up getting it in December, but it released like the first week of January. So Arrow Video ordered it through them. They sent it out early, and I liked it. I think it's a great 4K. I love that movie though, and it totally works for me. My whole being in the military, being in the Navy, I love that one. But yeah, it's a solid pickup for sure. And I want Excalibur, Arrow, in 4K. I'm interested in Red Sonja, and I need to pick up both Conan films with Arnold. I love the Conan ones. I have those Arrow videos, and I missed out. Those sold out. I got the chunky boxes, but it took me a while to get a good deal on eBay. But Red Sonja, I still don't know. Blue Corner has still not told me. He says it's a horrible transfer for the studio canal, and I still don't get it. So I'll actually try to watch that again this weekend, and maybe I'll see what he's talking about. But I remember watching it and liking it, so I don't know. Barnes and Noble 50% off Arrow box set. I picked up The Mask, RoboCop, and American Werewolf in London 4Ks. Solid pickups, solid. I have the American Werewolf Arrow Blu-ray. I never upgraded, but I do have to go at some point and obviously make that video of like, hey, I'm at Arrow Video, and here's all the stuff that's on sale, and here's what I'm going to pick up. But it's just a matter of what. I just went last weekend. The wife's not going to want to go again this weekend, so it's like one of those things. But yeah, I do have to go. There's a few things on my radar, things I want to pick up. Miss 45, definitely one that I want to pick up. There's a couple. There's definitely a couple that I want to grab. I don't think there's anything that I mean, I could obviously order it online, just order it through Barnes & Noble or even Amazon. Amazon honors the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale. And a lot of times when the sale ends, the Barnes & Noble or the Amazon prices are still up. So that's just a tip, I guess. I've noticed it every single time where I've couldn't find a title that I was looking for back in Virginia. I'd look, I couldn't find it. I'd go to the store, I'd be disappointed, and then I'd go to Amazon, and then like a week after the sale, I'm still getting it at the better price. Yeah, so that's a solid one. Yeah, solid pickups too. I think I'm okay with my Blu-ray though, but yeah, the American Werewolf in London 4K, that's a good pickup. What I want is Samurai Trilogy in 4K or Lone Wolf Cub film collection, Japanese films. I don't think I could afford the Kurosawa mega set if one happens. Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. There is a Lars von Trier, now very controversial director. I don't love all of his films. There's definitely The House that Jack Built. I didn't like that at all. But there's some films that I want to get, especially Melancholia. And they put out this box set. It's called, I think, it's Lars von Trier, the Sadness one. I think something about sadness. And the Nymphomaniac films, Melancholia, and there was one other film is in the box set. It's about $100. But then I just saw on the movie room. The movie room has this big, giant, huge box set that's I don't remember, a lot of films, like tons of films in it, and it's only like $100, $120 tops. And I was like, man, that's a solid deal. But I don't think I need it because I was like, there's a lot of those films I don't want, but I do want to see Melancholia. I like Kirsten Dunst. That's a film that's been on my radar for a long time. And so I was going to pick up that other one for $100, but I'm like, hemming and hawing. Do I get this other one with a ton of movies that I'm never going to watch, but it's the same price? It's one of those things. So yeah, I don't know if I need that. But yeah, Kurosawa, big giant mega box set. That's one I'd probably be all in on, for sure. There's been director mega box sets before, and I have kind of passed on them. Usually, I have all the films. If I love the director, I have a lot of the films or all of them. And this is just a collector piece kind of thing, and that's fine. I've got many collector pieces in my collection, but I've just kind of passed on those. But Kurosawa would definitely be a solid pickup for sure. But yeah, I've been kind of on the fence about that Lars von Trier one. Let's see. And Mark, morning brother. Mark's movie menu. Love John Woo. So happy his films are finally getting the love they deserve. The Killer is great. I can hardly wait for Arrow's release of the Bullet. Bullet in the Head. Shout's version is out now, but I want Arrow. Yeah, I was like Arrow. I would pick. I would if I had the option. If I didn't already have it, picking up the Arrow version is for me a no brainer. But if I already have the Shout version, sometimes it's like do I need the double dip? And I have on certain films like Big Trouble in Little China, The Burbs. Like there's been a few, but overall, nah. But yeah, it's always Arrow for me. Uh, let's see. As for Arrow, Westworld 4K is a must pick up for me. Not interested in Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, I was like, I have it on 4K. I was kind of disappointed by that one. I really like the other Evil Dead movies. I liked the remake back then. And that one, I mean, I guess the horror community kind of rejects that one a little bit, but I guess it's more mainstream horror. I like the Evil Dead remake from like 2016. I like that. Or maybe it was older than that. I don't know when it came out, but I like that remake. And then Evil Dead Rise, yeah, I'm okay with it, but I don't need to upgrade. I only like the Evil Dead trilogy and the show Ash versus Evil Dead. Yeah, I kind of missed out on the show. I watched the first episode, but I fell off. And it's just because I don't have cable, I don't have streaming usually, and it was just harder for me to watch it. Little Nicky Steelbook is packaged and priced like a 4K, but it's just a Blu-ray. Oh, I didn't even notice it was just a Blu-ray. Good catch. Good catch on that. Yeah, then that is kind of expensive for what it is and ridiculous. It's the Steelbook only, price gouging. I absolutely hate it. I've spoke on it many times. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. There have been movies like I almost pulled the trigger, but I am waiting for a nice big box set. Maybe we'll get one for all the Tron movies. But I almost, because I was ordering stuff through Amazon UK, and I almost pulled the trigger on the Tron 4K from the UK. It's a slipcover, and maybe it'll come with the slipcover, and maybe it won't. But it's a standard version, and Tron. I have the Blu-ray. I think it's fine. I enjoy the movie. I don't have the second one. Somebody hit me up recently. They said they were going to send it to me, which is cool. I mean, it's totally cool. And there's that. But then I was like, if I wait for that box set, I'll wait. But then my daughter just watched Tron Ares, and she said it was absolutely fantastic. So now I don't know if I'm going to wait. I think I might just watch Tron Ares because I canceled we had Disney Plus because I got it when I was sick last year, and then I forgot how to log in. Like I couldn't remember what email I used. I checked all the emails that I knew I had, and I couldn't find anything about Disney. And so it took me for a long time to reset the password and figure that out. And so I canceled it finally, but I think we have it for another couple days. So I might try and knock out Tron Ares. And yeah, that's something that, yeah, I'm kind of into. But it is I almost imported because it's a steelbook only, and that was what was available here. Let's see. Let's see. I'm all in on Arrow. Criterion may have one or two things. I want Captain Blood. Oh, I'm super stoked about Captain Blood. I haven't touched their Kurosawa because they're not HDR, and I have the SDR Masters on DVD and Blu-ray. BFI is on the way, or is the way. Yes. I mean, to each their own. Totally. I was like, I get it. I get the frustration of not having it, but I was like, with the OLED television, some of the stuff, I mean, obviously anything with HDR, Dolby Vision in black and white pops because it amps up the blacks. But I have been not using my Dolby Vision all that much. I've been turning it off on a lot of stuff and just enjoying it. I have the OLED television. Everything is kind of super black. It has a nice, amazing picture. So I was like, some of the, not all of them, but some of the Dolby Vision, like it's adding extra darkness. And so like with that, I haven't really, it hasn't stopped me from buying a film, I guess. But I understand exactly where you're coming from. And then let's see. Damn, I have Meteor Man from Olive 2. I bought them all as they came out. Yeah, see, that's the thing I wish. And Meteor Man is one where I'm like, I don't need this one day. And then I remember like a week or so later, they were like, oh, we're going out of business. And they sent me the email and I did like a big order and I tried to get Meteor Man then and I think it sold out. And because there was a couple of them that I knew I wanted then that sold out. Since then, I've got a couple of them. I've been able to get them into the collection, but Meteor Man is one that was just way too expensive. But I did get it from Sandpiper Pictures because it was something that, and I think it was like 17 bucks. It was something I wanted to watch. I haven't seen it in years, and so I did want to do that. But I would love to have the olive version. But that's just for, to collect all of them. Like it's not needed. I'll be happy with that Sandpiper Pictures for sure. But yeah, I kicking myself that I didn't get it when I should have. And good morning, Cinema Dave. Happy Saturday. If you don't know about Cinema Dave, he puts out videos and talks about physical media just like I do. Great dude, and he's got a great channel there. And yep, wasabi is good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was you who recommended it. I mean, how could it not be? Yeah, I'm looking forward to that anyway. I'm also looking at movies and realizing Disney has the rights and will never get a 4K. Big Trouble in Little China and Splash are two I want. Yeah, that's the thing is like Splash is a huge one. But yeah, the $100 out of print Blu-ray I think is outrageous. Like I said, I don't want to spend more on stuff like that, but I would feel okay with like $50 or $60 for something I really, really wanted that's out of print that's super hard to find. And like that, Disney, you're probably never going to get a 4K. You're probably never going to get a re-release. And it's just kind of unfortunate. And so then I'm like, oh, well, I guess, but at $100, I'm like, that's outrageous. That's stupid. I'll just get the DVD and I'll be fine with it. But this year I have talked about how I want to add a lot more out of print titles into my collection. So I am looking for that. I have done that already. And it is, trying to hedge my bets of, is this going to get a Blu-ray? Is it going to a re-release? Is it going to get a 4K? Sandpiper Pictures going to be putting this one out too. And so, I don't want to spend too much money on some of that stuff because then it's just like, it's a waste of money if I just waited. And I've always said collecting physical media, collecting anything it's a waiting game. It's a marathon. It's not a race. And yes, I would like to see some of it. And there's avenues I can do to watch it, especially because I do collect older formats. I can easily pick up a Laserdisc. That is my Laserdisc collection up top. A lot of people think that's vinyl records. I have a few vinyl, but I don't have a turntable. I have the vintage stereo, which I'm still working on. I gotta put new lights in it and work on it. But I have the vintage Pioneer, and I'm looking to get a turntable this year at some point because I have some vinyl, but it's all soundtracks. It's all soundtracks. I like that. I'm not really super into music, so yeah. Up behind me, all laser discs. So yeah, it was like adding some of that older stuff that didn't get a Blu-ray or 4K on a Laserdisc. I think it's fine. But even then, like collecting Laserdiscs, some of it is also kind of expensive. So picking up a VHS for 50 cents, a couple dollars, a DVD for a couple dollars also makes sense to me. Like I wouldn't spend $50 or $60 on a Splash Laserdisc, but I'd spend $4 on the VHS. It's the color grading on the audio on the Studio Canals Red Sonja. It's being trashed by people. So I'll double check. On that. Because I thought that because there was an issue. I had a color grading issue, I thought. And I did think that initially with Red Sonja. But at that time, I was also trying to make that video of like, I watched all my 4Ks and I watched all this stuff. And I also changed all the settings on my TV because there was a ton of films that people were complaining about. And then I wasn't seeing the same thing they were. So I was turning up all of the settings. Like when you get a brand new factory out of the box, like how it's all set up, those are exploded modes, like to give you a good picture in the store. That's also a super bright room, and so it's competing with a store. When you get it in your home, it's different, and the color and the picture and everything's not the same. So that's what I was like trying to do at that time, and I made a video on that and had that whole discussion like how I have my settings. But at that whole time, I know I watched a couple films, and I watched it on those like blown out modes, and so it was that was one of them. And then what was the other one? The other one was um, I can't, Basic Instinct. Basic Instinct was another Studio Canal 4K that I imported, and it's a fantastic film. But at the time, I felt like the blues, like everything had this like blue tint over it. No, it was because I had blown out my TV settings to try to have that conversation what other people were seeing and that I wasn't. And then when I switched it back and I lowered all the settings, I turned off the motion flow, I changed everything. I went from the normal cool setting to the warm mode to give you like the nice color palette. I think I've enjoyed it, but I will rewatch Red Sonja and double check. But that could be the issue. It could be an issue. But if not, I'm glad to pick up the Arrow video and then do a comparison, as I was going to pick it up anyway, I think. Outland 4K looks good from Arrow. Yeah, and I just recently picked up I had never seen it before. So I recently picked up the VHS, loved it. And so, yeah, Outland is high on my radar for this month for the 50% off. Yeah, that's a good. Thanks for reminding me. But I mean, I probably, if it was in the store, I probably would have remembered at the time too. But if it was sold out, then obviously not. But yeah, that's one that I would like to grab for sure. I just picked up Arrow's Poseidon in the Barnes and Noble sale. Nice. Yeah, I enjoyed Poseidon. I would like to get the original. I like them both. I have the original on DVD, so I would like that. But the new one I think was fantastic. Yeah, people are hoping for an Arrow regrade. If it is kept as it may be a cancel. Oh wow. Red Sonja, they're importing of Canal titles like Flash Gordon. Usually they keep the same colors. Okay, I'll have to check it out. I also have nothing to compare it to either, so maybe I'll pick up like an older Blu-ray or something else, or maybe even a VHS. Like I had no problem comparing the color to a VHS to something modern, you know, and watching it on the CRT. Like because like sometimes if you take a VHS and you put it on the 4K, like my 4K TV takes a lower signal, up converts it, so it does change things sometimes. Let's see. I haven't gotten your Trons in the mail next weekend. Oh yeah, no, I didn't even want to call you out, brother. I just was mentioning it was, you know, our friend said it, but yes, yeah, I appreciate it, and no worries at all. Take your time, no rush, because I was like, I have no idea when I'm going to be able to get to the post office. It's a whole thing. Let's see. And good morning, said the brick. They're Blu-rays. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the Blu-rays. I totally am. Like I said, if there is that 4K, I would probably box set. Like I probably would pick it up if it was a decent price. But at the same time, like if it's the steel books, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I am looking forward to it, and I do want to watch the Tron Ares. My kid said it was fantastic. And the second one, I haven't seen that in years. I want to rewatch it. And John Doe Juggalo, what's up, brother? Just checked my hours on my OLED. It's sitting at 16,715. Oh wow, that's a good number, I guess. A lot of time to break it in and have a good time with it. Thanks for the kind words. All the best to you. Thanks, brother. Yeah, no, I do. I appreciate your channel. I appreciate what you do for physical media. You know, definitely, and that laid back. It's, you know, some guys I watch and I hang out, and then I personally get the FOMO. I personally am like, man, I got to get these titles now, or I'm never going to have them. And then sometimes I've been disappointed, but you know, I get influenced. There's plenty of like I just watched Brian over at Last Movie Standing. I just watched his December haul. I picked up two titles that I had them on my radar at one point, but completely forgot about them. And then he had picked them up, and so those were instant buys. Born to Be Rad, Garrett. Pretty much anytime he does a live stream and he's showing off stuff, that I pick up something. So yeah, totally. But like with Dave, man, I was like, it's very informative, very laid back. And then I want to add stuff. I put stuff on my radar, but I never have that like FOMO push where I'm like, I got to get this now. And so it's enjoyable because I'm not like blowing a ton of money that I probably shouldn't. But good morning, everyone. Good morning, One Notch Above. Every time I buy a Blu-ray, the 4K is released. I'm still waiting on the net 4K, etc. I must have the Hacker movies. Yes, the net 4K would be great. I have the Blu-ray. I love that movie. And then we did the same thing a couple years ago. We had the VHS. We watched it every single year, enjoyed it. But then we finally upgraded the Blu-ray, and we're like, man, is that 4K coming? Because that was happening a lot. There was a lot of movies that I upgraded last year and the year before. Like as soon as I would get the movie, within like a couple days, the 4K would get announced. And so it's just like, I've already opened it, I've already watched it, there's no returning it. And it's just kind of sucky, especially if it wasn't like a cheaper title or something on sale. It was still at that like $25, closer to $30 for a Blu-ray. It's an older title. I just never picked it up day one. And we're talking like old, like maybe 10, 15 years. It's been out. Like the old Blu-rays and the HD DVDs, they used to have the image here, and then they would have like a silver swoop on the top and a silver swoop on the bottom, at least here in America. And those are the early ones. Still picking up like one of those. And we're talking like 2009, 2008, like in that range. That's when they were being put out. You're looking at still $25, $30, and then a 4K comes out, and you're just like, man, that sucks. So, yeah, I feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain. Let's see. Jeff says, patience has been my best friend in collecting. Yeah, patience really is a virtue, and there's certain things like there's tons of films like one that came up, and I just got the FOMO recently. It's a movie I've never seen. It's Possession. It gets talked about a lot. It's been put out multiple times in big, expensive, chunky box sets, and it always sells out. And so I was talking to TJ about this, and like I think he brought it up, but like I had the same feeling. It's like, am I missing out? And because it keeps selling out, people keep talking about it, but I've never seen it. Like nobody's ever recommended the movie to me, but now like every time this gets put out on a big, expensive, chunky box, it sells out fast. So yeah, I was like, sometimes patience is a virtue, but then there's like something like that, Possession. I'm like, give it to me day one. I need it now. And I don't know if I need it. I don't even know if it's a me movie. It might not be. The cover's kind of cool, but it seems like it's a horror movie that I'm not into. And then it's going to be like crazy expensive. It's also like Caligula. Like I didn't buy Caligula. I'm not saying I would never own it, but like I didn't see the reason to get that big, like expensive umbrella, $100 box set for something that I haven't seen in probably 15 years or more. And then if I get it, I'd watch it once, and then it's going to sit on the shelf for a very long time before I watch it again. And well, it's kind of cool, and it's got the film history, and it's got controversy with it, and it's got all this stuff, and it's taboo, and it's like real pornography like mixed in the movie, and people didn't know, and the actors claim they didn't know. Yeah, it's a wild film to own, but for film history specifically. But yeah, I was like, do I need it? No. And it's the same thing. So I think maybe Possession might be the same thing. I mean, I don't think it's the same thing as Caligula, but I think it's the same. I would spend all that money on a big chunky box set, and then it's a movie that I didn't need. But the FOMO's like getting me for real. John Carpenter certainly deserves more respect and premium 4K releases of his films. Underrated director, in my opinion, like John McTiernan and Terry Gilliam. Yeah, fantastic directors. Is another director I can think of. Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think he gets enough respect. He does get that whole like pigeonhole, like horror guy, and horror doesn't have it never really usually gets put on a pedestal unless it's like a community, like a YouTube community, fan base, the fandoms, that those put him on a pedestal. But like actually like the rest of Hollywood, I get it. Yeah, a little bit more respect for sure. There's tons of films that I need to add from his catalog, but then there's some that would just do wonders to have, a nice 4K or just a nice premium edition would be welcome for sure. Body Bags I don't love anthology movies. And I've never really been into them ever, but Body Bags is probably one of my favorite anthology movies ever. I have the Blu-ray, and that would easily be like, if they got an upgrade, I'd double dip on that one for sure. Let's see. When do you make an exception for Blu-ray or 4K bootlegs? Usually, like, and I've talked about this before, but in the past, like, I was against it because I think that dumping the money back into the studio and into the actors and into that stuff, like buying it legitimately, is great. But I changed my mind on it, and I still don't actively look for the movies, but I have picked up some on eBay, and I found some at thrift stores, and I found some. So I have like a decent bootleg collection now, but it's not through like purposefully looking for them. And so, I'm not promoting that, and I guess I'm probably not supposed to either. But I've kind of changed my mind on it. The movies that are just not being put out, I'll get a bootleg, no problem. I have Ruthless People. It's got the DVD. It's never had the Blu-ray officially ever, but I have the bootleg, and I love. It's a fantastic high definition. It's high definition. It's 1080p. It's a beautiful it's a beautiful bootleg, but it's a rip from something that has a high definition source. So they have it. Why are they not officially putting this out? It would make money. It's got a cult following. People like it. And then a lot of times, especially 80s films, when they get re-put out, not only you get the hype in the community, a lot of us are in the similar age. And so we talk about that stuff. But it's a fantastic movie, and a whole new generation is going to find it by putting it out again. And so it's just, they're leaving money on the table, and it's very unfortunate. But yeah, there's if they're not going to put it out, I have no problem. Now, if there's an official release of Ruthless People, I will easily throw my bootleg in the trash and purchase it brand new day one. Like that is a fact. So that's where I stand on that now. It used to be like I was completely against it, and then I was getting them kind of by accident. And so there's plenty. And so that's why I say, like, don't spend $65 on something that somebody's calling an MOD, because manufacturer on demand officially from a studio is completely different from a guy in his house printing these, making them, and then overcharging for them. He's downloading it from the internet. He's putting it on a disc. He's putting the work in. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think, like, download it from the internet, put on a disc from a guy from eBay, $65, I think is a waste of money for Splash, when you can get a used copy for like $80. It's just I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not promoting that either. Like, spending a ton of money on old physical media out of print, that sucks too. I hate the eBay scalpers. So I'm not promoting that, but I'm like, it's not much different. Like, it's just a gouge. It's a gouge. It's horrible. But if I found one for cheap, yeah, for sure. Adding it 100%. Let's see. From the Arrow Video website, regrading Sonia. Okay, nice. Yeah, I was going to pick it up anyway. 4K restoration from the original negative with a new HDR grading from Arrow Video. Yes, I love Arrow. I think they do a fantastic job. I mean, there have been, like the cell with that hiccup with the 4K there, and I still think they haven't really addressed that. But I have the Blu-ray. I can still watch it, and it's a good Blu-ray from that 4K scan, so it's enjoyable. But other than that, like, I'm pretty sure. I mean, they might have had other hiccups in the past, but in my current collection of Arrow videos, and I have quite a bit, I think they're all knocked it out of the park except for the cell. And the stuff that they're doing, the extra features, getting, actors and directors and people back. Now, they can't always, like, some of the stuff's extremely expensive, but doing new commentary stuff, pulling in some of the older stuff, I do think they do a fantastic job. So yeah, Red Sonja is going to be an easy double dip for me. And then, yeah, I was like, I'll double check on that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe it is my TV is why I think it's good. So I don't know. But yeah, if everyone's complaining about it, then maybe I'm wrong. And the thing is, I never had that on VHS. I didn't have it growing. I watched it on TV back in the day, but I never had anything to compare it to go, wow, this is horrible. I went, wow, I liked it. But yeah, I don't know, I'll check it out. Let's see. Gone in 60 Seconds remake would be an instant purchase for me if 4K. I'd even buy Entrapment with Sean Connery and the very beautiful Catherine Zeta-Jones. Well, I love Entrapment. I'm a huge heist film fan. So those two films, 100% day one purchases for me. I love anything with a heist film. And it doesn't matter what kind of heist it is. Like, I'm super into it. There's this, like, it's not a phenomenal movie, but I enjoy it. And it's an older one with Ryan Reynolds. I have it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's Ryan Reynolds, and basically they plan to do like the perfect crime. They're super smart. They plan the perfect crime, but they don't do it. It's just a game that they play. And then somebody finds out, they steal their plans, they commit the robbery, and then they blackmail them to do a bigger robbery. And they basically have proof because their fingerprints are all over the plans, and you know, they leave a diamond in each of their houses and whatever. So then they can frame them if they don't do the new job. I love that. That's a heist film, and it's just, but it's not all that great, but it's good. It's enjoyable for me. So yeah, big fan of both of those. Those would be huge day ones for me. But Disney, I don't know who owns Entrapment. Maybe Fox. I don't remember who owns Entrapment, but Disney owns Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm 100% sure, and that's the reason we don't have it. But I think they're fun. I think they're fun. And then those films, when I bring them up, those are the ones that get talked about. They're like, they're not great films. Those are not classics. Well, not everything could be Citizen Kane. Not everything could be, you know, a foreign Criterion. But those films I enjoy. I like lowbrow films, and I don't even consider those lowbrow, but those get I guess the film snobs come out of the woodwork when I talk about those, but I do love them. I really want the Dollar Western series. Yeah, that'd be great. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, etc. I only ever had the Good, the Bad, the Ugly in the collection for years, and so I should get all of them. I really should. This guy wants 300 for it. Arrow chunky box sets. Am I crazy? I personally wouldn't drop 300 on those. But the thing is, like, everybody has their own thing. Like, I've dropped tons of money on multiple versions of movies that I like, and so different versions. So yeah, you're not crazy. You're getting 3 films. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I get it. I get it. There's definitely films I would like. There's like if and I probably will very soon make my Holy Grail video. Like, these are the Holy Grails. These are the things I'm trying to collect, but they're crazy expensive, and these are the reasons why I'm not going to get them, or I'm not going to get them anytime soon. But they're definitely wants, and some of them are in that $200, $300, $400 price range for one film. So you're not that crazy. It's the collector. It's the whole point. It's like having something that you want, that, and like there's other versions of that film, and you don't have to get the 4Ks. You can probably enjoy the Blu-rays. You know, I enjoyed my Good, the Bad, the Ugly Blu-ray. I do want the 4Ks, but I've kind of missed out on that as in the same boat. So I'll wait, and then possibly another studio will put those out. They're great films. They're very popular. They've been put out by I think Shout Factory, Shout Studios put that out, and then now Arrow. I could see another company putting them out easy. So also waiting is another thing. So it just depends. If you got the $300 and to spend, is burning a hole in your pocket, and you really love those films, and that's the definitive version for you, I don't think you're crazy at all. I've been trying my hardest to not let FOMO get me, but it's really hard sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. Like I said, sometimes I've been complimented myself. Like, people left comments how they like watching these videos because I don't really push the FOMO thing. But man, I give myself FOMO. I know I do. Like, I see something, I talk about it, and I talk myself, and I'm like, I really need this, and I don't. I was like, I don't. I have so many films. I don't need to buy anything else. But I mean, that's part of the collecting. Like, you have to buy something new. You have to enjoy it. Like, or there's something special or upgrades. Like, I have a whole pile of movies that I've recently upgraded, and now the Blu-rays, they need a good home, and I got to get rid of them. I got to send them off. And they're not bad films. Like, I love the films. I love them enough to upgrade. So it's not like I'm just dumping off films I don't like. But yeah, I think I'm going to start up the pen pal thing again. I've been doing that with TJ, even though he sent me more boxes than I've sent him. But I'm busy. But I'll send out more. I got another box working on for TJ, but I'm going to start that up again. I don't know exactly how I'm going to handle it in the future, but like, yeah, I was like, I'd like to do more pen pal stuff where one of you guys, like, if you want to like switch movies, I'll send you stuff. And like, I never send crap. I mean, you might not like the film, like, that's a thing, but I send good films, things I like and things I enjoy, and a lot of times I've upgraded. But I've also sent like new stuff. Like, I sent TJ some pretty sweet stuff. But yeah, so I was like, I gotta start that up again and get rid of that. But yeah, the FOMO thing, I give it to myself and then I upgrade, and I don't need it sometimes. Yeah. Let's see. I got the cell replacement. Oh, see, I didn't know that they were doing. I gotta figure that out because I have the cell. I got to get the replacement disc. Yeah, they did do a replacement program for the cell. They were just bad at promoting it. Yeah, see, I completely. I mean, in this community, I'm like on stuff all the time, like, and somehow I missed it. So yeah, yeah, I probably should do that sooner than later too. Arrow put out a standard release for the Dollars trilogy, but the UK import, if you're in the US, I think only Good, the Bad, the Ugly limited box has an exclusive documentary. Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. Movies Ding sells official studio print on demand discs. I got Detroit Rock City, Ladybug. The other. Oh, you know, you're not the only person that's told me about Movies Ding. I will write that down because I remember somebody talking about it and then I just never went to it. Movie Zing. Yeah. Yeah, I will definitely be checking that out. Yeah, I was like, yeah, official MODs, 100% fine with, but like, and I don't even mind like the people making them. I don't mind getting bootlegs, but spending $65 or more on a unofficial bootleg, get out of here. Get out of here. That just feeds the beast. And then I think that's also why, like, I mean, you can say whatever you want, inflation, tariffs, you know, you can get crazy political, the reasons why, and this stuff's expensive, but it hasn't always been expensive. And then, but you go back to look like the 80s and like the early 90s, like this stuff was always expensive, like DVDs or not DVDs, laser discs, VHS. I got a VHS in my collection that has a printed on the box suggested retail price of $60 for a VHS back in the 80s. And like when I did the math, when that movie came out, I think it was like 250 bucks or something in that range for a VHS tape. And like if any of you said you bought a $200 VHS tape back in the 80s, like people would think you're nuts because we've had a long time of this stuff being very inexpensive. And so like, yeah, the $65 or more MODs that are bootlegs, get out of here. And then you look at Amazon, who's now charging more and more. And like that was just mentioned, Little Nicky has a big price tag on it for the pre-order, and it's just a Blu-ray. It's not a 4K. And how much extra stuff are we actually getting in that? So you're paying all that premium for a steelbook. And is that price being driven by us? Is that price being driven by the eBay scalpers and then people paying the money for that stuff? Like there's some crazily expensive stuff on eBay. Like, and maybe they're never going to get that, but if you have somebody that does it one day, like that's a huge win. There was like a $10,000, like a single standard Blu-ray. I don't remember what it was, but I put it on my last video. They were asking like $10,000 for a Blu-ray. You're nuts. You're nuts. But somebody's got that money and they might, thinking it's, not realizing they could get it cheaper, but hey, you got the money, you don't care. It's one of those things where money doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe, but it's crazy. The Texas Chainsaw 2 problem. Oh, see, I didn't pick that one up, and I do have the Panasonic UB9000, so that's another one. I would have loved to add that to the collection. I also have the Sony hooked up in the same thing, and I also have my PlayStation 5, so I technically have three 4K players on the same TV, so it wouldn't be a huge issue. But yeah, I do remember that one, and I did miss out on it. But yes. So yeah, still in my collection. I don't have really any other than the cell, but yeah, that one was a major issue. Plus, film 2 and 3 of Dollars don't have the mono Italian. Let's see. I'm sure a few of us could get behind an Entrapment release. Oh, I'm sure. I was like that, and I don't care. I was like that scene with where she's scooting under the lasers. To this day, man, I love that movie. It's a great movie. I'm gonna rewatch Entrapment this weekend for sure. Ryan Reynolds, Foolproof, 2003. Yes, I think it's a fun movie. I think it's a fantastic, fun movie. It's something I've always enjoyed. I'm pretty sure I have it on DVD, but if not, I will probably add it sooner than later because I watched it recently, so I don't know where I watched it if I don't have it. But yeah, it's a fun one. Fistful of Dollars is one of my all-time favorite films, and I do have to pick up from Arrow UK. Yeah, pick it up, man. Pick it up. Let's see. Arrow sent me the replacement disc for The Cell. Looks flawless. One of J-Lo's best. Yes. Yeah, I love that. I love that film. I thought it was very underrated. Like until this release came out, I honestly didn't think that many people were like super into it. I've had it forever. I had it on VHS back in the day. Like when this came out, I rented it. I was super into it, and I thought it was like kind of like a cult film that like nobody liked. I showed it to my wife a few years back, like right before the 4K was getting released. We watched the Blu-ray. I watched it with her, and she's not a big film person anyway. There's films that most films she doesn't even like, but that she got up in like the middle of it and went to bed and said she hates the film and she's never gonna watch it again. I was like, I think it's great. I think it's a wild sci-fi film that's just, it's not your typical fare, I guess. I wish Arrow had done Once Upon a Time in the West, one of my favorite westerns. I think that was a pretty good one. I second that. Your channel doesn't push FOMO. Love that. Yeah, I was like, because like I hate it. I hate it. Like, and I was like, I'm not knocking anybody. Like anybody, different personalities, different strokes for different folks. That whole kind of mentality. But I have tuned into people, and I'm like, I get the bug, man. Like it's just like I got to get this, and then I get it, and I'm disappointed. And so I was like, man, if I had just thought about it, I waited, I did my normal thing, then I give myself too much FOMO anyway. So I was like, I'm already like doing that. So it's like I don't need any of that stuff. So I try not to like push that, but I do. I think everybody's like, anytime I give recommendations, like I think you should watch them for sure. Like, do you need it? No. It's like, do you need to upgrade it? No. But should you watch it? Yeah. These are my favorites. These are the things I like, and I like to share that. But yeah, I don't try to push the FOMO for sure. And Acres of Movies. Hello and thanks from Stacy. Well, hello, Stacy. Best subway scenes. I think the best subway scenes, and I'm gonna go back. I think you asked this question before, but I think the best subway scenes for me go back to Ninja Turtles. Underworld has a great subway scene. Taking Pelham 123, the original, I love that. And then I'm gonna say Speed for sure. That scene, he gets his head chopped off. Love it. I mean, there's probably a million. There's a million probably, but those are the ones off the top of my head that I love. Best carnival scene. I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Now I have to think about that. Now let's see. I'm gonna look up. I'll do an actual. Maybe I don't know if I'll do a list, but maybe I'll do an actual like try to lock down some carnival movies. I know Rio, the cartoon animated film with the birds. They got the carnival scene. I like that. But yeah, do that. Arthur, I love the Boondocks cartoon series. I picked up the 4K upscale of the series, and it's amazing. See, I thought about that. So I have not seen Boondocks since it was like on television, and I liked it. Like I never sat down and watched it. Like I don't even remember when it was on, but it would just be on, and I would watch it, and I always enjoyed it. Sometimes I had it on in the background. So yeah, I thought about picking that up recently. I didn't pull the trigger, but I might. It's just something else, like it's TV shows. I like TV shows, but it's just the way I enjoy them, the way I watch them. I'm always hard pressed to spend the higher dollar amount for TV shows. Now, movies I've had no problem with, especially getting premium sets, especially some of the cool umbrella releases, some of the bigger stuff. But yeah, somehow or other, TV shows, it's very hard. Like I do have the Friends 4K there. I still haven't picked up the Seinfeld one. And in my Seinfeld DVD collection, I didn't even have all the seasons. When it was on television back in the day, I watched all of them. I watched the season finale. And then any of the beginning ones that I might have missed, I've watched on DVD. So I've seen the entire show. But yeah, I do need to add that. And so it's hard for me. But I almost pulled the trigger on it because it's something that I like the humor in there, and it's you don't get that either nowadays. High VHS prices, 80s made. I have Star Wars rental tapes from 1982 and the first release of Ghostbusters. Star Wars 100 US and Ghostbusters was $80 back then. Yeah, and those rental tapes were like another animal because I have a couple of them in my collection where you can feel like they're way heavier. They were meant to be watched over and over and over again, and so they just better built. And so I have quite a few of them, not a ton, but like I have a good handful of like those old 1980s rental tapes. And I picked them up since then at like 50 cents a pop. I don't have anything from my childhood, and then at those higher prices, I don't either. So, but yeah, those are solid. But yeah, they were very expensive back then. Let's see. Yeah, I want Entrapment. I think Entrapment's fantastic. I love the Blu-ray. A nice Arrow Video chunky box set, Second Sight. I mean, those are wishful thinking. I think if anything, we'd get a studio release, but uh, probably not anytime soon. I always like to sell. My brother and me watched it. I always wouldn't mind Money Train. Oh, I also wouldn't mind Money Train. I love Money Train. I think that's a fantastic. The whole thing is surrounded by the subway. I don't know why I didn't mention that. So I love Money Train. Fantastic. It's a great holiday watch for me. But yeah, that one I love it. I thought, and it's another one I thought was very underrated for many years until I started, being in the community talking about it. There's tons of fans of that film. But all my life growing up, like I would show it to people and they'd never heard of it. And so I remember when it came out back in the 90s, like we rented it early. And so that's been in my not just in my wheelhouse, that type of movie. It's a heist film, it's a comedy, it's got some action. Like I love all that stuff. But that's been a regular watch for many years. Scorsese wants to work with Cagney. Have a time machine, bring Cagney up here, or have a time machine, bring Scorsese back there. I'd send Scorsese back just because I like cinema from that era, and I think Scorsese could bring a nice twist on some of the older stuff for sure. Money Train is tight. Yeah, Money Train is a very great film for sure. Um, yeah, but I'm taller. Yes. Yeah. It's a great film. Best acting in an action movie. I, I don't know. A lot of my action movies are like those cheesier type movies that are like over the top 80s acting. Anything I think of, I always think of like the old Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff. But like one I liked recently was Cop Shop. I think that was a great action film that had good acting. It's a modern film. It's one of the few modern films I enjoyed, but I loved it. And I liked the world they built. And it felt like they were going to make a sequel and then just never happened. But I liked Cop Shop. I think that was pretty good. I don't know if it's like the best, but I like it. Like if you can go back to like older 70s cinema, some action films, like yeah, I've knocked out a few of those too, but that's the one that comes to mind, I think. Let's see. See, I'm still waiting for MASH TV series and the Blu-ray of Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Voyager. Those last two are never happening due to the failure. Yeah, I guess it's unfortunate. I would definitely pick up MASH. That's something I don't have a lot of nostalgia for, but it was always on TV when I was a kid, the reruns, and so I've caught bits and pieces of it. So there is a time where I would have liked to sit down and watch the whole thing. So I probably would pick it up for sure. Do you like Medicine Man? That's the one with Sean Connery. I haven't seen it in many years. I remember liking it. It's something I don't have in the collection, and I haven't seen it in a long time. Let's see. Saw Money Train in the cinema. Yeah, I missed it in the theater, but we rented it early on, and it's been a favorite ever since. Under Siege 2 on the train. I saw that in the theater. Complaint Die Hard on Train. Yeah, it is Die Hard on Train. But the funny thing about those Die Hard movies is after the first one, pretty much they were creating, like, as far as I understand, those movies weren't supposed to be Die Hard movies. They were just writing an action film. And then people were like, oh, this is Die Hard here. This is Die Hard in an airport. This is, and so then they turned into Die Hard movies. And so maybe that was the same thing. But I enjoy the Under Siege movies. I do have I have the new Arrow Video 4K of the first one, but I had them both on Blu-ray for years, and yeah, I like the first one more, but the second one's a good watch. Let's see. Cheesy action movie that is Chuck Norris, my childhood Firewalker. Oh, I love Firewalker. Missing in Action series. So the Missing in Action series is one that I hadn't really dove into, fully familiar with it, but Firewalker, fantastic, fantastic movie. One of my favorites. And, you know, I mean, when I say fantastic, I love it. I love it. For me, it's a cult classic, but it's not for everybody. It's kind of cheesy. It's kind of goofy, but it's fun. Fun 80s movie, and it's an Olive Films. It's one of the few first Olive Films that I picked up, and it's what started that whole collection. Big fan. And then let's see. We'll go back into some of the things I'm excited for, because I think we only hit up the Shout Factory stuff. Let's see. Yeah, so then this one here. So I just recently watched it. I like the Now You See Me series. I like the first two films. Now this one, it fell a little flat for me. Now, as the completionist in me, I still liked it. I liked it enough to pick this up. It's not going to be a day one, but the 4K is coming out from Lionsgate, and it's a standard. It doesn't have a steel. I mean, there's a steelbook version, but there's a standard Blu-ray, a standard 4K, and then you have the steelbook Lionsgate Limited, it looks like. So this one's coming out, and I'm super stoked about it because I do like the entire series, and not that I would love for them to do another one. I probably would watch it. I probably would watch it for sure. So this one comes out in February. As far as like as they go, I think this was the weakest one. It seemed like it was a little bit more predictable, you know, to a point. Like I didn't like it, not 100% beat for beat. I was like, this is what's going to happen, but then you just kind of saw the writing on the wall, and you know, again, I thought it was like the weaker of the bunch, but it's still enjoyable enough. I still liked it enough, so I will be picking that one up. Just probably not day one. And then what do we have? Let's see, Tron Ares. I'll be picking that up soon enough. Now, this Predator Badlands, like I like the Predator series, but I only really ever liked the first two, and then the latest one that Disney put out recently, Prey. I picked that up. My kid loved it. I thought it was good enough. I had fun with it, but I do love the first two movies. So this one here, I don't know if I need it. I don't know if you guys like if this is a high recommend from you guys, but I have seen the trailer a few times, so I'm intrigued enough. But like, I've been out on these like 30-year-old sequels, like, you know, continuing a franchise that was good back then and kind of stopped. And then now they're just picking it back up because it doesn't feel like a continuation. It just feels like it's a cash cow. They're just putting these out to print money, and maybe they're not that great. And so maybe that's the issue, but I don't know. So that's what I'm interested in. I don't know what you guys think. And then Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur is something that I've tried to watch this like years and years ago, but I don't remember exactly what happened, and I never finished watching it. And so I've never seen this movie. And I know I just watched Ken over at Mid-Level Media mentioning this, and the same thing. He's never seen this either. But I guess it's a classic. Like, I mean, not that I guess. Like, it's considered a classic. It's from an old era in Hollywood that I'm familiar with. I love a lot of those old movies, but this is a huge blind spot for me. But I am kind of stoked on this Steelbook Collector's Edition, the UK import here from Warner Brothers. I don't know if I need to watch it first or if I'm just going to blind buy this, because I also feel that if I don't love it, I wouldn't be losing any money because I could just trade it in. You know, if somebody's going to want this, and not that like put it out for like a scalper price, but like I just don't feel like if I hate this movie, like I would be lost on the special edition version. But I know myself, I know my wheelhouse. I like a lot of these films. It's an old film that it's right up my alley. It's just somehow or other I missed it. So that one I'm stoked about. K2, I don't think I need that one. I know this one's gotten mentioned quite a bit over the years, like not recently, but over the years. So I don't think I need that one. But then this one, I don't need it, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So this one here, Visual Vengeance, is preparing a Blu-ray. So it's a label I haven't heard of. Vampire Time Travelers. So I like vampire flicks, but this seems like a sexy, erotic probably softcore type movie. It's probably not for everybody, and it's really not for me. But I'm curious about this Visual Vengeance. But this one comes out in April, so just a few months away. The cover is fun. It's cheesy. It's cheeky. It's I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it seems like it's one of those like erotic softcore type movies. Something that I don't need in my collection at all, but some people do, and we're going to talk about it because this older stuff, this schlocky stuff, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe that's just the cover and it's just not that at all. But maybe this is just a weird cult classic type film. But the thing is, like this older stuff that's getting put out, you're also getting a new bonus feature that wasn't there before, and then a new director approved SD master from the original tape elements. So you're getting cool stuff, and they're preserving this older media, and that's why I bring up this stuff all the time. Even though it's not for me, it's got to be for somebody, and the fact that it is being preserved, I think, is huge. So I love all that stuff. And then this one, this is a movie that I missed the Cinematograph chunky box set. I don't know if I'm going to be picking up this version of it or try to track down the Cinematograph one, because I have all the big chunky box sets in my Cinematograph collection, and so I like things to be consistent. And so, but this one's getting a new standard release because I guess the other one sold out. And so you're getting new 2K restoration from the best surviving elements, the new video introduction, and all that new stuff. But it is New Rose Hotel, and this one stars like Willem Dafoe's in this. It looks like Christopher Walken's in this one. Asia Argento. Yeah, so it's a movie that has a great cast. It would probably be up my alley. It's something I would probably get. But yeah, I don't know why I missed out, or if they never did put out the chunky box. I don't even know if they did, and this is just all we're getting. So, but that's something that more than likely I would probably try to check that movie out and pick it up. So high on my radar. So not like it's not obviously not day one, but high on my radar for that one. There's that, and then talked about that, and then the umbrella stuff, and then we can wrap it up because this was the major thing I want to talk about today. These are the things I have on pre-order, and these are the things I'm stoked about. So, Naked Weapon, the big chunky set from Umbrella. I love the premise of this. I watched the trailer. I loved that. So this one comes out in April. This one's already on pre-order. Super stoked about that. And then I don't know if I need all this stuff. So this one here intrigued me too. I think this is a foreign film. Yeah, it's a foreign film. But this one, Tell No One. The cover intrigued me. I have to watch the trailer on that one. So that one's intriguing. But I don't know. The only one I'm definitely I got on pre-order is Naked Weapon. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff in that same cart. But they've already been put out, so it's not pre-order stuff. So there's that. So yeah, Naked Weapon was huge. Because I almost picked it up. Oh, then the imprint hard boxes. So these are fantastic if you're a fan of Westerns. So the Magnificent Seven. Now I am ignorant. I had no idea that there was a whole bunch of these. I just thought there was that original one. Then I know they did the remake years ago. And I remember seeing the original one at the video rental store, but I didn't know there were 3 other films. So this is high on my radar. I'll be picking this up. I like Magnificent Seven, and to revisit these and watch the other ones for the first time. I'm not huge into Westerns, but this is going to be a huge pickup for me, for sure. So there's that one. And then this one here, Tales of the Wild West Collection. I don't know if I need it, but 5 movies. It's like they're Tales of Adventure, Tales of the Wild West. It's a similar thing where you're going to have a bunch of probably hard to find or forgotten about type movies thrown in this box set, and I'm looking forward to it. So I might try to pick this up as well, because Westerns have been kind of a big blind spot in my collection. Now, I like some of them, but I'm not the biggest Western guy. It's something I didn't really grow up with. Even though there was a lot of the older Westerns would play on TV back in the day, I still didn't get to watch a lot of them. So yeah, I would probably add these. Not sure if I need them day one, but high on my list for sure. So those are there. And then this is one, Hard Boiled. I've talked about it before. I'd like to add this one, adding that one as soon as possible. And then this, Cinematograph announced. And this movie's been put out before, but I only have it on VHS. And I'll be picking up this version. This is also on pre-order. Married to the Mob, starring Michelle Pfeiffer. It's a comedy from the 80s. And then so she's kind of on the run. The mob's like looking for her. It's great. It's a great film. But yeah, from 1988. Huge fan. It comes out January 27th in 2 weeks. So this one's huge. and I have this one on pre-order. So that one I'm super stoked about because it's going to be a big upgrade from my VHS, and then having the nice, all the extra features, the Dolby Vision. What else is included? This new commentaries, new audio commentary, all these extra special features. Obviously, I didn't have any of that stuff on the VHS, so that's going to be huge. But I know the movie's been put out a bunch of times. The UK has had a few Blu-rays, stuff I've been aware of. I've almost picked it up a few times, but I'm glad I waited because this is the one I'm going to be grabbing. And then this is another one. So here's the Richard Pryor Here and Now 4K. I think this is the first time, I don't think this ever got a Blu-ray. So I think this 4K is the first time it's been on a high definition format. I'm sure there was a VHS, there probably was a DVD, maybe not. But this is something more stand-up comedy, putting it on 4K, super stoked about. And I'm going to be picking this one up. I also am waiting for Moving. Like, I don't remember what studio has Moving, but Richard Pryor, that movie, I think is fun. Randy Quaid is in that movie. It's a great comedy, very underrated. It's something that I have on VHS, and it only ever had a DVD, and it was a very short, limited run DVD. It went out of print early, and then they put it out in like a 2-pack. And so there was that, and then there's never been a Blu-ray, never a 4K. So more of the Richard Pryor stuff coming out. We've seen some of the other stand-up comedy of his put out on 4K already. Some of it has been put out on Blu-ray before, but now finally getting this, it just gives me hopes for Moving to finally get a physical media release sooner than later. So we got that. So yeah, that's something. And again, I've seen some of his stand-up comedy. I don't know if I've seen this one or not, but I'll be picking it up. And then this one was this Euphoria from 1985. So it looks like a comedy from the 80s. Another one from Kendall Lorber, Cindy Williams, Harry Dean Stanton, Fred Ward. Yeah, I could pick that up easy. Looks like a fun comedy. Fred Ward, I don't think can go wrong. So that's high on my list as well. Again, probably not a day one, but something I want to add. You're getting the Blu-ray and the 4K of that. So these are the things I'm like super stoked about. And then this one I'll probably pick up. I do like rom-coms. So Marry Me with, was it J-Lo and Owen Wilson. Now this is the one I didn't see, but I'm pretty sure it's the one where she's playing like an actress or a singer, and then he's like somebody in the crowd, and she picks him or something. It's this goofy premise. I liked it, but I like rom-coms, so I'll probably pick those up. But all the rest I'm super stoked for. Do you like Back to the Beach? I never saw that one. And then like Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio. I know that one comes up all the time as like great films and high recommends, and people love that film. I have the VHS, and that's one like I have never like wanted to upgrade. I don't watch it all that much. I think in its entirety, I probably have seen The Beach twice, and I have the VHS, and that's it. So I was like, I don't know. So I don't know if that's even connected to that, but that just reminded me of it because it comes up all the time. But Back to the Beach, I've never seen. I just grabbed Invasion USA from Vinegar Syndrome. Nice. Dennis Hopper and Michael Richards were Harry and Marv. Would that be okay? I mean, it could be, but it would be a different film. I think Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern like knocked that out of the park, and then the way they played it just made it like kid friendly. Would the other guys like would Dennis Hopper? I don't think so. I was like, I mean, it could be a different film, but like I don't think it would be great. I'm usually not one. So here's the thing: so in those like what ifs, like very rarely am I like, I would rather have this person in this role. Like in some of the modern films, I have done that because they definitely completely miscast. But I've always had this like mindset: if you want to come into something and change it, then you never liked it in the first place. So there's that. So like if there's something that just doesn't work, where I'm like, yeah, it's a bad cast, it's bad acting, they missed this. Like you could easily see a different person in that role. I see that, but I think the movie's so fantastic that, you know, trying to change it means you just never liked it in the first place. I mean, that's just kind of the way I think about it. But so I try not to think about that stuff. But you know, if I had to, I would say it probably wouldn't work, and it would just be a different film, different tone altogether. Like Dennis Hopper, I think he's great, and like he's done kids films, like he did Super Mario Brothers. But like him playing, I just think it would come across different. Let's see. I must hate magic because let's see, what is this? I must hate magic because the Now You See Me movies do nothing for me. Maybe I was like, I just like it because there's a heist element in there, and that's why I think they're over the top. Like they're definitely like kind of spectacle movies. Um, More like when I was a kid, they're movies I would have seen in the theater and then super enjoyed it and then probably never bought it on home video, and so there's that. But I liked them. And the third one, like I said, it was the weakest one, but I'm still gonna grab it. But yeah, I was like, man, to each their own. To me, it's the heist element, and I love those movies. I hate the Now You See Me series. It doesn't remind me of regular movies. No, it doesn't. Like there's something about it that is completely different. And there's a formula, and that's I think they tried to do a similar formula, but then changing it up in the third one. I don't know. But I kind of liked it. Me too, Cowabunga. Nice. Uh, Golden Globus Canon Films. I remember them fondly. Oh, Canon Films is a huge part of my childhood. But known is very bad. Yeah, I think of the He-Man movie, which I love, and Superman 4: Quest for Peace, which is out of the Superman movies I still enjoy because I have that nostalgia. I watched it as a kid. I have the nostalgia. I get that it's not a great film, but I liked it as a kid. The sequels to Death Wish and American Ninja, yeah, I think those are all great. Those are all part of my childhood. Canon Films is a huge part of my childhood, and yes, notoriously films that are considered now cult classics, but at the time bad films. And to this day, like there's people that'll say they're bad films. But I like Master of the Universe. I liked He-Man, but there's some great ones out of Canon Films as well. And off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. But a huge part of my childhood. I enjoyed Prey. I also enjoy The Predator, Killer of Killers also, so Badlands is already on pre-order. Yeah, I didn't see the Killer of Killers one. I'll have to check that out soon enough. But yeah, Ben-Hur is amazing. I mean, that's what I hear. That's what I hear. Like I've seen a lot of films, but I missed that one. And I feel like I should have seen it a long time ago. I love Gladiator. Would I like Ben-Hur? Oh, I don't know. Vampire Time Travelers looks like a plot with bite. Yes. Yes, it does. See something naked and 80s is all over it. Ha ha ha. Yeah, big fan. Like you've got me. Like I like the naked. Let's see. Miklos Rozo did the score to Ben-Hur. Amazing. Yeah, it's a pickup. It's definitely a pickup, and I'm gonna get the chunky box set. District 13 is a really awesome French movie. I think I'll pick it up. I don't know if I've seen it. That's the thing. I don't know if I've seen that one, but I'll pick it up. I think about the imprint Mag 7 box is it's like the hero that you have. Not sure if I'm a fan of that style. I love those imprint boxes. I do. But I mean, to each their own. Like I love imprint. I love those boxes. I don't know. I'm a sucker. But yeah, I just a big fanboy of it. I used to watch all the Van Damme movies too, cheesy action. Yeah, all when I was a kid, I watched all that stuff. Yeah, except Kickboxer or Bloodsport. I remember Universal Soldier, Sudden Death, and saw those in the theater. Yeah, I was like Chuck Norris, Van Damme, like those were on TV all the time back in the day. I don't think I saw really, maybe one or two in the theater, but like everything else was seen on TV or rented, and it was just a big part of my childhood, like fun action movies. And then now I'm diving into as an adult, like some of those, like I picked up a Chuck Norris movie last month that I had never seen, enjoyed it. And then I just picked up another one this month. It came in yesterday. And so, yeah, that's a movie I'd never seen, Chuck Norris, but it's like a rated R action flick. I'm super excited about it. And yeah, it was a big part of my childhood. Watched all those movies. And then, like, I don't think I was trying to be a film snob, but I didn't have a lot of those movies in my collection until like recently. I started adding more in, and it's not that I was like, I thought they were too lowbrow for me, and I couldn't because I have a lot of lowbrow movies the ones that I absolutely love, like Hell Comes to Frogtown. I'll bring it up as much as I can. I love it, but I know it's super lowbrow. But like those movies I had in the collection, I didn't have in the collection because like they felt like one and dones. Like I enjoyed them for what they were, but I wasn't going to rewatch them all the time. I watched them on Saturday afternoons. They'd be on TV. They'd be great, and it was just mindless entertainment for whatever it was. And then I moved on. And then now, like as I'm diving into more of it, and they're putting more of it on Blu-ray and 4K for the first time, yeah, it's easy pickups for me all day. Let's see what do we got. Get the Vampire movie, brah. Nothing wrong with appreciation for the female form. You should check out director Tinto Brass. Yeah, so that's one that has come up a few times. I have not checked out, but I will. So now that Arthur said pick up the vampire movie, I will pick up the vampire movie. Let's see. Vampire movie. Vampire. So I'll pick that up. And then we got that. And then let's see. The first Magnificent Seven is awesome, a must own. The cast: Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I don't own it, and so it's going to be a huge pickup for me. Plus, Yul Brynner, James Coburn, and Robert Vaughn, all great cast. Yeah, fantastic film. So yeah, it's going to be a huge pickup for me, and I love Imprint. So yeah, that's great. It's just I wasn't aware that the other three existed. I'm super excited. I was able to get the Vinegar Syndrome exclusive limited edition box set of The Great Silence pre-order during the subscriber week. The thing is sold out quick. Now, well, I'm glad you got it. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome stuff, like, they get some of that stuff just goes, and then some of it sits forever. So it's interesting how that works, because like you have like. There's people that have never seen it before, so you got the blind buy thing. You're just going to grab it. You love that genre. You love that stuff. And Vinegar Syndrome, I think, has its own culture, and so like people buy this up. And then there's some things where I'm like, how come this hasn't sold out? And it just sits there for a long time. Like Mac and Me, how come that's still there? There's over 2,000 copies. I'm going to add it eventually. I just don't know when. And I also know that it's not a great film. So let's see. The 2016 remake I thought sucked despite being full of stars. Magnificent Seven. Yeah, and that's the one I did pick up, and I haven't watched it since. Like I didn't have any love for it, and it might be leaving the collection soon. I just have to give it a rewatch. But I didn't remember liking it when I watched it. Invasion USA is a Christmas film. Yes. I now that I know that, I will rewatch Invasion USA for sure. Bruce Lee movies, Stallone movies, Arnold movies, Bruce Willis action films. Those are my childhood. Oh, I think everybody from the 80s. Yeah. Stallone was a big hero too. Everyone wanted to be Rocky and Rambo. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Great actors, tons of great movies from back then. Things that I'm still watching to this day. But one of my favorites, and like a lot of people kind of forget about Kurt Russell too. So Kurt Russell, I mean, he's had a great career and he's done everything. But some of his action films, absolutely wonderful. And he can do the serious dramas too. But Tango and Cash, one of my all-time favorites from the 80s. Stallone, Kurt Russell, I don't think you'll go wrong. But those are some of my all-time favorites. But I've been going for 2 hours. I'm going to wrap it up here. And then, like I said, there's some things I'm going to do. I am going to be adjusting those tiers and putting out new merch and doing all that stuff. The movie zing. I got to pick up some Carnival movies, check those out, and that vampire movie. So those are the things I'm gonna be focusing on, and yeah, that's it. So with that, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great weekend. Remember to watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Oh, don't give me a cat. That's fine.
Go now, goodbye.